In this video, I'm going to show you what it looks like to access Schoology from a desktop. It looks a little bit different than the iPad, so there's just a few things I want to point out to you. The first thing is the symbols that you might see when you look at a student's Schoology page from the desktop. These symbols are kind of red flags about an assignment or assessment. This is excused, this is incomplete, this is missing. If a student has incomplete or missing assignments, that'd be a topic for discussion that you might want to have with your student. This icon means an assignment, so something the student needs to do. This is for a discussion, which the teacher might also grade, but that's usually done in class. This is a quiz, if you see this little icon, the puzzle piece. This is for a rubric. That means the assignment or assessment was graded using a rubric. So if you click on this rubric with the assignment or assessment, you should get a better picture of why the student received the grade that they did, because the rubric will have a lot more details. Finally, if you see this next to an assignment in the grades page, it means the student made a submission. So there might not be a grade there, but if you see this, it means the submission has been made. When you open up Schoology from a desktop, this is the home page that you will find. Up here in the corner, you'll have a drop-down menu. If you've logged in as yourself, you can select any of your students you have at St. Paul Public Schools, or you can select yourself. This is also where you'll change the notification settings so that you can get updates about your students missing work or turn them off if you so choose. We'll come back to this later. So when you open it up, you can see overdue. The student has all of these assignments overdue. And then upcoming, so you'll be able to see what the student has coming up soon. So tomorrow or today at 2 p.m. this is due, and then at 2 p.m. also this is due, and then Wednesday tomorrow this pro-con article is due. So overdue assignments and then upcoming assignments. If you want to see the students' classes, you're going to click on the Courses tab. Once you click on that tab, all of the courses will drop down and you can look at more of the content in a specific course. We're going to select English 8. Once I've selected the class, the home page will come up, and the first thing you're going to see are the materials. The materials are things like assignments, assessments, notes, basically everything that the student needs for class. So this is where the student will find all of their assignments and assessments and notes and handouts and everything like that. One thing you might notice is that teachers arrange and organize their classes differently. Typically, there are 2 or 3 ways that a teacher will organize the class, and we do try to do a good job of teaching students where to find the materials. This teacher, for example, organizes her content into units. So in each unit, the students will find Google Slides presentation, so those are probably the notes, in-class resources, and formatives and summatives. And the student will find all of these in each unit. This teacher organized the class by quarter. So for each quarter, the student will find assignments, assessments, resources, and notes. So this class is not organized by units. Something else you might see is that a teacher just organizes it by type. So you might only see assignments, assessment, resources, and other things, and it will not be put into a folder. So that is less folders for the students to go through. In each folder, however, everything is in chronological order. Next, you can look at the student's grades. So after materials, you would click on grades, and the grades will come up for the class you are in. You'll see the student's grade. However, you will also want to look at the assessments and the practice work. What you'll notice is that for all of the assignments, assessments, practice work, everything, the teachers will give feedback to the students, and the feedback is what helps the students improve their grade. So for example, this was formative 1, and on this formative 1, the student got a C-. You can see here the student made a submission. If this was missing, there would be no grade and there wouldn't be no submission. like this here. So the student did not submit anything to this. But this is a C minus, and the teacher gave very specific feedback about why the student got a C minus, and then the student can then apply that to improve their grade. If you notice here, the formative 2 was graded on a rubric. So in addition to the comments, if we want to click on the rubric, we will get a more specific idea of why the student received an 11 out of 6. The same with the summative. There are some really nice comments, specific comments, but it's also graded on a rubric. So if we were to click on the rubric, we would know exactly why the student received a B+. This is more information about how the student is graded. So this is where you find the grades in the course. If you want to just find the grades, you would navigate up here to grades. You would then navigate to grade report. And once you do, all of the classes will show up. Just click on a grade, click on a class to see more information about the grade. So if I click on English 8 again, I'm going to see exactly what I saw in the class. It's just a different way of accessing the material. If I want to get to a different class grade, all I need to do is click on that class, and I will see the information for that class. This formative was graded on a rubric. This assignment has not been submitted. This assignment the teacher flagged as missing and assigned it. When you flag it as missing, it gets an automatic 0. But if it's not been submitted, it will also show missing without the teacher flagging it as missing. That might seem like a lot of information to wade through and like a full-time job if you do it every day. There's a way for you to get notifications so that you have an idea in about 10 seconds or less what you want to talk to your student about. The next slide, I'm going to show you how to change your notification settings so that you can quickly, at a glance, see how your student is doing in school. However, you must know your G number and your password. If you don't know these things, I can help. Give me a call, 651-744-3419. And I can help. I can give you your G number, I can reset your password and get you all set up. So, notifications are a really quick snapshot of how your student is doing. You can decide if you want to receive notifications daily, weekly, or not at all. You can also decide what time you want to receive notifications, and they will be sent to you via email. This is what will come in the notifications: course summary, grade, and attendance. So you will see what the student did in the time period in which you set up your notifications. So if you set them up weekly, you'll see what the students did for 1 week. For example, this student is getting a B+ in art, and this week this student took a formative and received a 6. The reason this is really helpful is because if you're not seeing the grades you expect, or if you are seeing low grades on formatives and summatives, that's how you know what class to go back into and explore the issue further. So if we're seeing low grades in art and low grades on the formative, we could click on the formative for art, or we could go back into art class on the Schoology page and look at the teacher's comments and see exactly why the student is struggling with that class. So it's a really quick way that you can communicate with teachers regarding why a student might be struggling in a class. Another thing you'll get notifications about are overdue submissions and upcoming assignments and quizzes. Finally, you'll get updates. So the teachers try to write weekly updates, just letting you know what's going on in the class, important announcements, and upcoming tests and quizzes. You'll see submission notifications, so when your students submit something, you'll get a notification, and you'll also get a notification on the score. So again, this is a really quick snapshot into how they're doing in school, and is a good jumping off point for where you want to have a further conversation. So if you are seeing your student struggling in art, you'll know, okay, I need to go back into the Schoology page for art and read through the teacher's comments and talk to my student about what they're doing to improve and if they understand the teacher's comments and if they're missing work. This is a good springboard into that conversation. Next, I'm going to show you how to change your notifications. You need to be logged into Schoology as yourself. Once you're logged in as yourself, you'll see a little drop-down menu up here. This is going to allow you to select whatever student you want to receive notifications for. You'll see all of the students you have enrolled in St. Paul Public Schools. So we want to select this student. We want notifications for this student. So we need to select their name, go to Settings, go to Notifications, and change notifications to on if they're not on. Say when you want the notifications and say what time you want them. Then switch it to on again and save the changes if you want email notifications. If you don't want email notifications, you can select off. To receive overdue submissions, you want to select on, save your changes. But if you don't want those kinds of notifications, you can turn everything off. You can turn whatever you want off. So it will contain the date range. The notification will contain the date range. So if it's for a week, it'll include it for a week. It'll include lots of information about overdue submissions. So this is something is hanging over the student's head, they need to submit it. And recent activity. So it's a nice quick snapshot into how your student is doing in class. And again, if you need any help, please don't hesitate to call me, 651-744-3419, and I will help you out as best I can.